The sports community mourns the loss of 41-year-old Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter Gianna, who tragically lost their lives in a helicopter accident on Sunday in Calabasas, California. This devastating accident killed 7 other passengers, leaving no survivors on board. The group was reportedly traveling to attend a basketball tournament nearby that Gianna and teammate Alyssa were playing in. At 10 a.m., onlookers reported seeing the helicopter lose control and eventually crashing into the side of the hill before immediately catching fire upon impact. Officials say that the weather conditions were extremely foggy and unsafe to be traveling in. Kobe Bryant was a legendary basketball player, cultural icon, philanthropist, and most importantly, a dedicated father to 4 young daughters. In his professional career, he totaled 33,643 points and spent the entirety of his career with the Los Angeles Lakers. On Saturday night, LeBron James surpassed Kobe Bryant for 3rd on the all-time scoring list, and in his last social media post, Bryant paid respect to James for continued effort in growing the game of basketball, which Bryant continued to be instrumental in his retirement. From award-winning documentary Hoop Dreams to coaching his daughter's basketball team, who recently renewed his interest in watching the game again. He may be gone, but the Mamba mentality lives on forever. We will miss you. This is Taylor Sakoniadis for RTA Sports Update.
Taylor, who's ringside? Taylor?
I'm here with Madison Lalonde. You're having a great first start of the game. Tell me how it felt when you scored that goal.
It felt pretty good. Obviously, our team's been struggling to score, so it was just a nice one to get on the board to go back into the period.
And obviously, this is a big game, so tell me what the preparation was like for you.
As a team, our preparation has just been persevere. We haven't had the bounces that we wanted lately. I think we should have had some better turnouts, so just keep plugging away, and hopefully we're going to get some bounces like we have so far this period, and hopefully it continues.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Best of luck. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much. Taylor Sakoniadis, a fantastic rings.
I am back here with the Ball family, the parents of Laura Ball, Alan, Roslyn, and Stella. And tonight is senior night, so how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. We got lots of support, and it's been a fantastic night so far. Yep. And the score is 2-0 for us.
It's always a good thing. So I just want to ask you, how did it feel seeing your daughter in that ceremony?
We're truly honored. It's been a long time since she's about 6 years old playing sports and hockey, and to bring it to this point of her career and watch her grow as a person and a young woman, play 5 years here, get a fantastic education, and meet some fantastic people. It's been a great ride.
Well, that's all we have. Thank you so much for your time, guys. It means everything. And thank you to your daughter. She has been an amazing player for Ryerson.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Back to you.
It was a 3-game set on the road for the London Knights this past week. I'm Taylor Sakoniadis, and this week's edition of Knights TV is presented by Coulter's Pharmacy, the official health and wellness center of the London Knights. Last week, the Knights played their first game at the Dow in Saginaw. It was Knights rookie Denver Barkey that got the game's first goal for his 3rd of the season.
Hard to miss that one.
The Spirit would go on to score 3 straight to take on an early lead. Coming off the second intermission, Knights veterans Luke Evangelista, Cody Morgan, and Antonio Stranges put up 4 unanswered goals for the 5-3 comeback win.
Again, Stranges scores!
This is another 4-point performance for the captain, with all 4 points coming in the 3rd period. The Knights got back on the ice in Kitchener Friday night. Knights top-ranked NHL-eligible prospect Isaiah George was +2 and had 2 assists, adding to his already impressive rookie campaign. It was an overager affair on Friday, as all 3 goal scorers are in their final year of junior hockey. Cody Morgan had 2, bringing his season total to 17, and Ty McSorley and Cameron Baber each had 1. In what was a back-and-forth game, the Knights fell just short in a 6-4 final. This year, Coulter's Pharmacy and the London Knights are taking the 3 Stars to another level. You can now win a custom London Knights hockey stick from the rink or from your couch. Follow the Knights on social media during home games for your chance to win. Following Friday's game, the Knights were back on the road in Windsor for the final game of the weekend. San Jose prospect Liam Gilmartin was the lone goal scorer for the Knights with back-to-back goals in the first and second period.
Shot scores! Off the wall, and Gilmartin to the middle gets his second of the game.
Thanks for tuning in to Knights TV presented by Coulter's Pharmacy. We will see you next week. Until then, I'm your host, Taylor Sakoniadis. Hello Knights fans and welcome back to Knights TV. This episode is brought to you by Dairy Farmers of Ontario. We recap the week that was and bring you up to speed on what's ahead for your London Knights. My name is Taylor Sakoniadis and this is Knights TV. The Knights were at home for 3 games this past weekend and on the road for 1 as the team begins a busy final stretch.
So it's good to get one under us.
The Knights hosted the high-scoring Sioux Greyhounds Friday night in front of a 50% capacity crowd. The Knights' offense didn't disappoint the crowd as they combined for 8 goals in an 8-5 win over the Sioux. Stranges and Evangelista both had a multi-point game, but American forward Liam Gilmartin stole the show with a 5-point performance and his first OHL hat-trick. Here's what Liam had to say third, helping lead the team to their 3rd straight win. Stranges has recorded 4 game winners in a row and was later named OHL Player of the Week. This past Monday, the Knights hosted a special Family Day game against the visiting Kitchener Rangers. Isaiah George got the Knights on the board early, but Kitchener responded just 30 seconds later. It was a tight. The Knights have a busy weekend on the road before starting off the busiest March in OHL history. Thanks for watching this episode presented by Dairy Farmers of Ontario. I'm Taylor Sakoniadis with Knights TV. Welcome back to this week's episode of Knights TV presented by the Finch Auto Group. This past week, your London Knights concluded a very busy March schedule with a home-and-home series against the Flint Firebirds. The Knights have a chance to clinch their division this weekend, so purchase your tickets now at LondonKnights.com. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode presented by the Finch Auto Group. I'm Taylor Sakoniadis with Knights TV. Thanks for the intro, guys. I'm your host, Taylor Sakoniadis, and this week's episode is brought to you by Little Caesars, the official pizza of your London Knights. The Knights were at home for 2 games this week and on the road for 1 as the team began their final stretch. On Wednesday, March 2nd, the Knights hosted their division rivals, the Guelph Storm, in front of a 100% capacity crowd and repping a special throwback jersey in their return to a full house of green. The auction for the throwback jerseys ends on Wednesday, March 9th. The Storm struck first, but just seconds later, London native Ethan McKinnon assisted Max McHugh in scoring a resounding goal, making it his 7th of the season. In what was a tight back-and-forth game, Luke Evangelista netted his 42nd goal of the season, assisted by newly signed Dallas star Antonio Stranges, who got a goal of his own in the 3rd period, sending the game into overtime. We talked to Tony after the game. Here's what he had to say. After a few big chances in overtime, the game would go on to a shootout where Stranges and Montreal Canadiens prospect Logan Mailloux would secure a 4-3 win for your London Knights. After a day of rest, the Knights took on the Windsor Spitfires at the Budweiser Gardens on Friday, March 4th. The Knights got on the board early thanks to rookie Denver Barkey, who got the game's first goal, and this would be his first goal at home. Knights assistant captain Sean McGurn was +2, adding a goal of his own, bringing his season total to 14. Coming off the first intermission, NHL-eligible prospect Isaiah George secured his 4th goal of the season, assisted by Max McHugh. The Spitfires would go on to score 3 straight to tie it up. Antonio Stranges would put the Knights back in the lead, scoring his 20th goal of the season, assisted by Cameron Baper. But it was Jared Keane that scored the game winner in overtime, assisted by Max McHugh, who had a multi-point game and was a key player in a 5-4 Knights win. We caught up with some of the guys after the game, and here's what they had to say.
We're feeling good. We started off good.
The Knights hit the road on Sunday, March 6th to finish a home-and-home series against the Windsor Spitfires. This would be the final time that the Knights would see the Spitfires until playoffs. The Knights took the lead as rookie Denver Barkey scored on the power play, making it his 5th goal of the season. To bring the Knights back into the game, captain Luke Evangelista scored his 43rd goal in his 44th game and continues to hold the league lead in goals this season. Antonio Stranges scored on a power play while Cody Morgan added a goal of his own, bringing his season total to 19. but it would be the Windsor Spitfires that would come out on top in a 6-4 final. Follow along on Knights socials as they hit the road to take on the Kitchener Rangers and Sarnia Sting before heading back to the Budweiser Gardens on Friday, March 11th for Farmers Night presented by Syngenta, and they will be giving away 9,000 rally towels to everyone in attendance. You can go online to buy your tickets now at londonnights.com. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Taylor Sikoniadis with Knights TV. Welcome back to this week's episode of Knights TV presented by Tim Hortons. The Knights kicked off their first round playoff series against the Kitchener Rangers on Thursday, April 21st at the Budweiser Gardens. After much anticipation, Brett Brochu started in net for the Knights following his injury against the Rangers back in early March. The Rangers would be first to get points on the board while Antonio Stranges notched 2 goals. The first goal was a quick pass from Cody Morgan and the other was yet another viral highlight reel goal from the Dallas Stars prospect.
Antonio Stranges scores!
Although it wasn't the result the Knights wanted, Game 2 would take place on the very next night, Friday, April 22nd. Cody Morgan opened up the scoring for the Knights just minutes in the first with a wraparound goal, while Antonio Stranges was +3 and would record his 3rd goal in the playoffs. It's no shock that Brett Brochu made many impeccable saves that night, but this one takes the cake. Then Knights rookie Oliver Bonk scored his first career OHL goal while Jared Keane added 2 goals of his own to secure a 5-2 Knights win. The stars of the game were awarded to Keane, Stranges, and Bonk. We spoke to the guys after the game about their win and Brochu's return, and here's what they had to say. The Knights hit the road to play Game 3 at the Odd on Sunday, April 24th. With a nail-biter series tied 1-1, can they take the lead? Let's take a look. In the first couple minutes of play, Luke Evangelista sent a shot on net that was tipped in by Ty McSorley. Then on a power play, Antonio Stranges sent it to Evangelista for his first goal of the series, while Knights defenseman Kirill Steklov got in on the scoring action with a goal of his own. Rookie Easton Cowan made an unbelievable pass to Ty McScorsey for his 2nd of the game, while Brett Brochu made 38 saves, leading the Knights to a 4-3 win. The Knights will be back at the Budweiser Gardens for Game 5 on Sunday, May 1st. For a 2 p.m. puck drop, you can purchase your tickets today at londonnights.com. Little Caesars will be giving away free Crazy Bread in sections 307 to 312, tickets starting at $15. Make sure to grab your tickets today at londonnights.com. We want to see you in our house of green teas. You can purchase them at the Aluminum Associates London Knights Armory or at londonnights.com. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode presented by Tim Hortons. I'm Taylor Sikoniadis with Knights TV. Welcome back to this week's episode presented by Coulter's Pharmacy. The regular season wrapped up with another Midwest Division title, and we are off to the playoffs against our 401 rivals, the Kitchener Rangers. Let's take a look at how the end of the regular season played out. The Knights took on their first round playoff opponent, the Kitchener Rangers, on April 13th for the final time in the regular season. Up with some of the guys after the game, and here's what they had to say about their upcoming series against Kitchener.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a chippy playoff matchup. I mean, I think you saw it today. A lot of physicality, a lot of scrums after the whistle, so it should be an entertaining series.
The Knights took their final regular season road trip to the Dow Center in Saginaw to take on the Spirit on April 16th. Before the game, the Spirit recognized their former captain, now London Knight, Cameron Baber, for his years in Saginaw as part of their overage ceremony. The Knights had a quick turnaround for their final regular season game on Sunday, April 17th to take on the 8th place Sarnia Sting. In a special on-ice pregame ceremony, Cody Morgan, Ty McSorley, and Cameron Baber were honored in playing their final regular season game as they conclude their junior hockey careers. The boys spoke to Paige Martin of Rogers TV, and here's what they had to say about their time as a London Knight. Looking ahead, we are ready to fill the House of Green for an exciting 2022 playoff run against the Kitchener Rangers. Game 1 is on Thursday, April 21st, and Game 2 is on Friday, April 22nd. Puck drop for both games is at 7 p.m. It's going to be an exciting series, and you do not want to miss any of the action between these two teams. So make sure you purchase your tickets today at LondonKnights.com. You can also purchase our House of Green teas at the Aluminum Associates London Knights Armory or at LondonKnights.com. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode presented by Coulter's Pharmacy. I'm Taylor Sakoniadis with Knights TV.